the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. For pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975, Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Funeral service for Margaret Catherine Morris Gresham, age 95, of Sylacauga, is today at 2 o'clock from Curtis and Son North, with Reverends Rick Patrick and Larry Morrison officiating. Burial in the Evergreen Cemetery. Visitation 1 hour prior to the service at the funeral home. Miss Catherine died on November the 18th at her residence. She is survived by her husband of some 67 years, Brother Bill Gresham. So that service is today. They were very, very active in our community in ministry for many, many years. A lot of those years at 5 Points Baptist Church. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, will direct that service. Buell Motley Mott Rumsey Jr. died November the 19th, a graduate of Sylacauga High School and Auburn University. In lieu of flowers, contributions in Mott's memory may be made to the Alzheimer's and dementia research. Visitation for Mr. Rumsey will be Wednesday from 10 until 11 o'clock at Radley Smith Funeral Home in Sylacauga, followed by a memorial service at 11 with Brother Brian Ward officiating. Radley Smith Funeral Home, Sylacauga, in charge of the arrangements. Mr. George E. Cook, age 95, died November 21st. Funeral arrangement to be announced by Community Funeral Home here in Sylacauga. Mildred Billy Allen Parks, age 90, died Sunday. An accomplished cook and baker. Ms. Parks loved gardening and loved her family. She was a devoted wife, and funeral arrangements are set for Ms. Parks. That is going to be family receiving friends today, 1:30 to 2:30 at Talladega Funeral Home. And a graveside service at 3 o'clock at Hephzibah Baptist Church with Reverend Greg Tankersley officiating. Talladega Funeral Home directing. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory announcing the funeral arrangements for Mr. William Silman, age 68. Mr. Silman died November the 20th. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory directing. Graveside service for Mr. David Guy, age 67, of Alexander City, will be Friday at 1 o'clock from Alexander City Cemetery. Mr. Guy died Saturday, November 20th. He attended the Southview Church of Christ. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home, Alexander City, directing. Visitation for Frederick Riggins is today at 7 p.m. at Community Funeral Home in Sylacauga. Community Funeral Home directing. And Sarah Leonard of Sylacauga died October 22nd. Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga, announcing. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary announcing the funeral arrangements for Emma M. High, age 89. That'll be November 27th at noon from Morning Star MBC in Raglan. Visitation is November the 26th. And Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary in Talladega directing that visitation 1 until 7 on November 26th. And visitation and family hour for Mr. Frederick Riggins, age 63, is today at 7 p.m. at Community Funeral Home Chapel. Masks are required for all attending the services. Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga, in charge of the arrangements. And Mr. Riggins, age 63, was a graduate of B.B. Comer High School, home of the Tigers. So, Community Funeral Home in charge of those arrangements. That's a look at obituaries this morning, brought to you by Curtis and Son Funeral Home. And by the way, I talked with Cameron Wesson yesterday. Of course, he is one of the sons. David's the other, of Linda Wesson Mahan. And you knew Linda and Paul from McIntyre Drug and Westco Pharmacy. And of course, Paul died several years ago. His beloved wife, Linda, passed away a few days ago. And that service is going to be Monday at Curtis and Son North. The times to be announced by Curtis and Son Funeral Home. Cameron, of course, living in Pennsylvania now. And I think David is in Ohio. One's a surgeon, the others are archaeologists or something. So they've done well. And good talking to Cameron yesterday. hated talking to him under those circumstances, but in any event, that service is going to be Monday at Curtis & Son North for Linda Wesson Mayhem.